Welcome to WCTE Special Edition celebration of 45 years on the air here in the Upper Cumberland. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Nina is with me today for the first hour. We're going to have lots of guests. We're going to have some old throwback segments. We're just going to reminisce for the next couple of hours of all the great things WCTE has covered in the last 45 years. And Nina, it can be a lot.
Yes, it certainly can, because when you say reminisce, I think about all the years that I have been enjoying, certainly our PBS station here at WCTE. But then before moving here, I was certainly a viewer, had been for many years. And nowadays we hear folks that are moving here and say, we have a PBS station here. We say, yes, we do. And we want to introduce all of you to all of the wonderful programming that we're doing locally. But looking back is great for us, because it's
Absolutely.
so much fun to see. Well, it's, one of the things that's really fun is look for the people that that are back then. And it's fun to see where we are today. Those are good things to do.
Don't compare our age, though, right?
Oh, that's not what it's about, right?
Absolutely. Well, I just hope you will stay with us for the next couple of hours. If you have to step away, do come back. We will take a short break during the PBS News Hour because we want to make sure that you have your nightly news. But we are going to be back at 7. We've got some great guests on tonight. Like I mentioned earlier, Hippie Jack is going to be in at 5 o'clock. He's always a treat.
Yes,
He's always a treat.
Yeah, he knows how to cover it. That's for sure. He does.
He absolutely does. And then we're also going to have Bryce McDonald here from the Cumberland County Playhouse.
Yes.
And we have lots of guests, some sponsors that have helped us reach our number today.
Well, in the partnering, as you're saying, Bryce, there's such been great partnering over the years with the Tech and the Playhouse and others. So it's so good. It's so good to be doing this, to reminisce, but it's to celebrate. And we do. We're so appreciative.
Yep. And in the celebration, we are raising money for the Education Endowment Fund, which is something that we've been doing since our 40th anniversary. Nina, I think you were a part of that in the beginning.
Yes.
The endowment is a fund to help sustain the work that WCT is doing. It's a way to support, make a gift to the station that will be here as a legacy gift. It'll stay with the station. Small percentage of the earnings will be used to help build and provide income for the station to do the great work that we do all year long. So this is a great way to support the station.
And one of the things that I like to point out too to folks, Avery, is that this is something that is a sustainment. I mean, this will be here. Whether any contribution you make today, where it will be going. It will be here for people to enjoy WCTE for many years. And that's what we really want. We want to know that it's here doing the great work that it's done for the past 40. So
absolutely.
Yes.
And we have a lot more on that. So I do hope you will stay with us for the next couple of hours. Call your friends, ask your parents, ask your family to join in helping us reach our goal today for the Education Endowment Fund. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back.
Carlin Chevrolet celebrates WCTE's remarkable 45 years of invaluable service to the community. Through outstanding programming and commitment to education, WCTE has fostered a culture of learning, connectivity, and inclusivity. The Endowment Fund, as a vital component of WCTE's sustainability, ensures its ability to adapt and thrive in the face of changing times. We appeal to the community to join us in supporting WCTE's Endowment Fund. Carlin Chevrolet will match your gift today. Together, we can build a brighter future for WCTE and the communities it serves.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual Day of Support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland.
Something's in the air, I hold my breath.
What you're doing is incredible. I'm so proud of you.
With 1 foot off the edge, I take a step. The moment's come, now is the chance.
I believe this is going to be your journey.
We are co-authors with the world around us.
Starting now.
Looking for me?
We've been here, and without us, there is no United States.
It's only just begun. Something new.
It's all about storytelling. That's beautiful.
It's starting now.
Okay, thank you for joining us and staying with us during that short break. Nina has stepped out, but she will be right back. I wanted to introduce you to our first sponsor of the evening, Magic Mike. As many of you may know, he is the finance manager at Carlin Chevrolet. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you. We are honored to be here. We're glad to be here. Magic Mike, the credit specialist. That's my nickname. It's been going around for about 10 years now. It's kind of embarrassing and funny at the same time.
Right. It's funny how those kind of nicknames stick, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Somebody gave it to me a long time ago, and it's just been going ever since. So
I love it.
That's how I am.
Well, you have a very important job today to come in and really kind of give a testimonial to why Carlin Chevrolet feels it's important to support local fundraisers like this.
Yeah. So, Carlin Chevrolet is, obviously a family-owned business. We've been around since 1926, right? So that's a long time to be in the community. First car dealer in the community. Carlin Chevrolet does a lot with sponsorships and local events and community involvement, educational, right? Tennessee Tech, high school sports. Education is so important. Statistics show that children that have good educations grow up to have healthier lives, healthier families, things like that. So we want to be a part of that, right here locally in Cookeville, Tennessee.
Right. And, it is important to support local. I mean, WCTE has been right here in the Upper Cumberland for 45 years. Not as long as you all, but 45 years.
45 years
Young.
Is a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's almost as old as me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But what we're saying here is that, supporting local is what we're doing right here. And thanks to your contribution, the Carlin Chevrolet's contribution, they are going to be matching gifts today. So when you make a gift to the Education Endowment, your dollars are going to be matched, essentially doubling their gift.
That's exactly right. Whit Carlin is very excited about this. He's very excited about supporting this type of thing. And he wants to give what he can as well to donate to that type of charity and community involvement.
I think that's fantastic. And I hope you'll take this time right now to make your pledge or to call in the number on your screen or to visit WCTE.org if they don't have the number up on the screen just yet. So we're still working out some of our kinks, but we will get that number up for you shortly. But it's WCTE.org/support. And if you'll go there, there's a great link where you just click on and it's going to take you straight to the donate page. And every dollar counts. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's $20 or $30, maybe $100. Just know that your gift is going to be matched by Carlin Chevrolet today in this next hour. And you have to know that it's going to go to the Education Endowment for WCTE, which supports, like we mentioned already, early learning initiatives for young families and their children. It's helping bring educational programming to the homes over the air, free over the air, all over the Upper Cumberland. And they've been doing that now for 45 years. So your support is absolutely necessary and needed.
Yes, please donate. Please help out with this.
Now, we always like to have a little testimonial about some special memory that people have or their favorite program on WCT or on PBS. Do you have one, Magic Mike?
PBS in particular, yes. I remember fighting with my brother as a child what to watch on TV. I always wanted to watch Sesame Street. Now, he liked the Electric Company, but, after Sesame Street was over, I didn't care, whatever,
Right.
watch whatever, right? But we would always fight, and he'd want to change the channel, and then I'd want to change the channel. But
Right.
we both got so much out of that. You know, I mean, it's funny the things you remember. You know, I'm 51 years old. I remember things from my childhood. Watching PBS, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Right.
Yeah, the count, right? So these things are a big deal, right? People take these educational things with them for life.
Yeah, clearly.
So, yeah,
we remember 'em.
clearly, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. So yeah, big deal.
Well, I think that is fantastic. And I know you at home have lots of memories, the nostalgia of public television, the reason that we're here in the community. And if you have a special story, I mean, we want to hear what that is. So give us a call. Go to 931-528-2222 and give us what your testimonial is. We want to hear from you. We know that it's important. Public television is the essential for this community and for early learning initiatives in this community. We serve all 14 counties in the Upper Cumberland, and we have been serving for 45 years. Thank you, Magic Mike, for coming in.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
All
We
right.
look forward to working with you guys in the future too.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And make sure you make those gifts. Your money will be doubled.
Call the number.
Thank you, Carlin Chevrolet, for contributing to WCTE PBS's Educational Endowment Fund. Carlin Chevrolet will match your donation today, doubling your donation to WCTE PBS.
Because of members like you, WCTE PBS has served as an education partner for Cumberland for 45 years. By donating to the WCTE Endowment Fund, you'll help ensure that future generations of children will have access to creative, educationally rich programming and community engagement. Please donate today.
WCTE PBS's 45 years of broadcasting service to the Upper Cumberland. This momentous occasion not only calls for celebration, but also presents an opportunity to reflect upon the organization's commendable contributions, all that they have made to our community over the years. Moreover, as the current past board chair, it's my honor to extend my heartfelt congratulations, as well as make a compelling appeal for support towards the Education Endowment Fund.
Pull it down for now. Yeah. Okay, welcome back, guys. I'm so glad Magic Mike stopped by to say hello and show his support for WCTE. And thank you, Carlin Chevrolet, for your generosity. And please take advantage of that, because when you donate to WCTE, your dollars are going to be matched. And Carlin Chevrolet is going to be matching them for up through this hour. So, Nina,
Wonderful.
where are we
Yes,
on our
right
goal?
now we are a little past 13,000.
Okay.
So we're on a roll. Look, folks, though, we have a ways to go before midnight. We have until midnight.
That's right. We'll be on air till 10.
Yeah, we'll be on air until 10. But you can keep on calling. You can keep on contributing for a long time, actually. And know once again that it's going to the endowment.
That's right. The Education Endowment. We are celebrating 45 years. If you're just now joining us, WCT has been on the air serving the Upper Cumberland now for 45 years, which is incredible. I'm so proud to be a part of this team and everything that WCT does here in the Upper Cumberland. And I know that you at home enjoy watching WCTE and all the programming that it brings to you and your family. So this is a great chance to give back, to support the programming that you love.
Yes, indeed. And, we're always interested. I know they're always interested. I speak for the staff more often than I should, because actually I'm on the board of trustees, but I am the audience, and you know how important we are for any production. And these folks are doing such a great job, but some of the local programming is just wonderful for you to see. I think you'll find that those of us that have lived here for quite some time, I'm not originally from here, but I've been here for quite some time, and I find out things that I never knew about our area. Yeah. And certainly there are a lot of new things that are happening, and that is really brought to light. And so keep watching, and but remember to contribute today because of the importance of the contribution to the endowment.
That's right. And speaking of local programming, we're going to go now to a quick segment, about a 5-minute segment. It's Wish You Were Here. And the story is Butterfly Hollow. So Wish You Were Here is a new series. It's in its 2nd season. And we're just excited to be able to share this story with you. So please stay with us.
In the heart of Tennessee, there's a little slice of heaven you just gotta see. Oh man, wish you were here.
Welcome to Wish You Were Here, Adventures in Tennessee's Upper Cumberland. I'm Caitlin Steakley, and I'm excited to be your guide as we explore the natural beauty and unique culture of this stunning region. Together, we'll explore the hidden treasures, breathtaking landscapes, and unique experiences that make the Upper Cumberland so exceptional. Join us as we embark on unforgettable adventures and meet with our field correspondents to uncover the best-kept secrets of this stunning region. Let's begin our journey right here in the town of Gordonsville, where we'll discover the beauty of a one-of-a-kind bed and breakfast, Butterfly Hollow.
With its beautiful woodland trails and abundance of wildlife, Butterfly Hollow is the perfect destination for nature lovers. With its stunning views of meadows, mountains, and butterflies, you'll feel rejuvenated in no time.
I'm joined today with owner of Butterfly Hollow, Dave Yates. Dave, thank you so much for having us today.
I appreciate you being here.
Butterfly Hollow is located here in Gordonsville, Tennessee, and I'm excited to hear about the history of Butterfly Hollow and all you have to offer.
The home is 1899, so it's 125 years old. From 68 to 96, it was abandoned. A couple that we purchased it from actually purchased the home and did the restoration you see today, and all the beauty that Butterfly Hollow has to offer. The picture over the fireplace is kind of the focal point. It helps people visualize what the house looked like in 1997 before it was restored. But that is the uniqueness of the home, in which it is the original 1899 home foundation and a lot of what you see in the house. The home has a lot of unique characteristics that the couple who we purchased it from that did the restoration wanted to make sure that they used and kept the history of the home alive. And we still do our part to continue that tradition.
It's a true bed and breakfast. What can they experience when they stay on site?
There's not a lot to do, and that's on purpose. It is geared towards couples or individuals that just need to get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. We have a wraparound porch with plenty of seating. There's walking trails where you can listen to the birds chirp, or if you're quiet enough, you can see a couple deer walk by and enjoy the scenery and the peacefulness that we have to offer. We have a hot tub, so you have to have some of the modern conveniences, but you can sit underneath the stars at night and enjoy that. We have a fire table on our front porch where people enjoy having a glass of wine as the sun's setting. But really the main focus and what I try to convey to guests is you want to get away from everyday life, come out here and just reconnect, either with yourself, with your spouse, or just with Mother Nature.
You guys offer two different types of rentals here on the property. Can you tell us about the other rental besides the one we're standing in?
In 2017, we built a 2-room, 2-bath vacation rental. It's about 100 yards away from us here at the B&B. But by renting that, you have the ability to have your own space. You do your own cooking. It's fully stocked kitchen, has a grill. But you also get to enjoy the 82 acres and everything we have to offer here. Because the only downside about staying up there is you don't get breakfast by me. And that is in itself an experience.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful location. I also hear that you guys have a lot of couples that come here to get married.
Yeah. So one of the things when I was looking at the property in 2014 that made me realize is there's not a lot of this around the Nashville area, around Middle Tennessee. And when I say something like this, a bed and breakfast that also offers the opportunity to get married and spend a couple nights as your honeymoon. We do elopements where it's just the bride and the groom, or we can go up to 30 people of your closest friends and family with dinner if you so choose.
Well, I'm really excited to explore your property here today. Thank you so much for having us. I can't wait to see it all.
I appreciate it. Can't wait to show you.
So come, explore Butterfly Hollow and discover the perfect blend of relaxation and adventure.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual Day of Support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that quick segment of Where Story or Wish You Were Here. Wish You Were Here. You know, Nana, I'm there's so many good ones out. I get them crossed sometimes, but the Wish You Were Here butterfly story was just a great story we wanted to share with you, and just to give you a little snippet of the great work that our producers are doing just right here at WCTE.
I got to ask, where is Butterfly Hollow, and found out. So, I have grandchildren, and they love butterflies. So we'll all like to go, but it just looks like there are many possibilities for so many of the places that you all have presented to us. And I do so hope that people will look in on those and where stories live is the history.
Yes.
And I know Hippie Jack, you said, will be here later, and he is just tremendous with history. So
yeah, we're excited to be able to share some of those stories with our viewers tonight. Like I mentioned, we are celebrating 45 years today for WCTE is on air, broadcasting to the Upper Cumberland. And I hope you've been with us for most of those. But if you haven't and you're new to the community, we welcome you. But just know that WCTE is here to bring you educational programming to help provide safety, alerting to you, to be able to help you be aware of what's going on around in the community, such as stories from Wish You Were Here.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Nina, I know you're going to be stepping out, but I do want to thank you for being here to kick off our big anniversary today. We are going to invite Rafferty on here in just a second. He is a correspondent for Wish You Were Here.
Yes.
And he's got plenty of stories that I'm sure he's going to share with us.
Avery, thank you for asking me. I always appreciate being asked. And anytime I can talk with any of you about the beauties of WCTE, please be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We will be right back.
Hi, I'm Lakeland Gordon, WCTE's membership coordinator. You might be asking, what is an endowment? An endowment is a long-term source of stable funds for an organization. WCTE's Educational Endowment was started in 2018 to establish lifelong learning, cultural storytelling, and to enrich lives with educational initiatives. Your donation to the endowment is permanent. Only a small percentage of the earned interest is used each year to support the station's mission. Your gift will be used to create a reliable reserve of finances for WCTE's future.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual Day of Support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland. Welcome back. And I just want to thank Nina again for being with us for the kickoff of this 45th anniversary for WCTE. I am now joined with a familiar face for some of you. You might recognize Rafferty Cleary from the Wish You Were Here series.
Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me come in today.
Of course, of course. You know, you were with that series from the beginning. Now, when you were asked to participate in that, what was your mood? What was your feeling?
A little bit excited. An opportunity to explore some of the places across the Upper Cumberland. Getting to be on television was definitely pretty exciting too.
That's pretty fun.
I didn't know what to expect, but it's turned out to be an absolute blessing and just a blast every time we have an opportunity to go film.
So I know you've done radio before,
I have.
But was this your TV debut?
It wasn't.
Okay.
I did television in college. My degree is actually in radio and television broadcasting. So I've been behind camera before. I guess not to this extent, but it was fun. It kind of took me back to the days, if you will.
Right.
So it's been a neat experience. It really has.
Tell our viewers at home about the series. I mean, if they haven't seen it, what are they missing?
A whole bunch. It opens, at least, and I say this all the time, at least for me, get to go to all these different places. Of course, I watch the episodes that, parts of the episodes I haven't been involved in filming, but it opens my eyes to just how much we have around us here in the Upper Cumberland.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it all the time, you don't have to go to the beach. You don't have to go thousands of miles away. I mean, the beach is great,
right.
but you could truly make a really awesome vacation by just picking and selecting some of the places around us here in the Upper Cumberland. That's the amazing thing about this show.
It is very beautiful. In the 14 counties that WCT covers, we cover a lot of the counties in this series. We try to hit little spots along the path, the kind of off the beaten path, some things that people hadn't heard of. I know we're getting ready to go see a segment. We just saw Butterfly Hollow. And that was a great show about a Airbnb right here in the Upper Cumberland. If people want to do a long weekend, those are always great stays. But we're getting ready to go see a short segment on Lost Creek, which should be a fun little segment for the viewers at home to see. And again, just little teasers of really what the show is about and really what we're doing here in the Upper Cumberland as far as storytelling. What do you think, Rafferty?
Lost Creek, let's give it a shot. I'm trying to remember what episode Lost Creek was. I think I filmed that one.
They all run together, don't they?
They do. Someone asked me, what's your favorite one? And I have to really rack my brain a little bit to remember which
all
one.
Of them. And then we're going to see a little blooper clip, which
boy.
is always the favorite.
I have an idea of what bloopers involved here, and probably the fish hatchery in Del Hollow, if I had to guess.
You seem to be in the bloopers a lot.
I don't pay attention a lot. I think that's what it comes down to. But most places I go, someone's like, yeah, I saw you on that TV show and you couldn't handle a fish very well. And so that's probably what we're going to see in the blooper reel.
That's fantastic. Just making a reputation for yourself, aren't you? Okay, just a quick reminder for everybody. We are celebrating 45 years of broadcast history right here at WCTE. We're celebrating with some awareness about the Education Endowment. The Education Endowment Fund is a way that you can contribute to WCTE. And thanks to Carlin Chevrolet, we have a match. So every dollar that you give will be matched by Carlin Chevrolet, essentially doubling the money and doubling the impact to WCTE. So take a minute and call the number on your screen, go to the website, make a gift. Every bit matters. So just take a minute and do that. And we're going to go now to this next segment of Lost Creek. And we'll be right back.
In the heart of Tennessee, there's a little slice of heaven you just gotta see. Oh man, wish you were here. Located on the western flank of the Cumberland Plateau, the Lost Creek State Natural Area is a favorite destination for spelunkers and hikers. The Walt Disney Corporation featured the falls and cave entrance in the 1994 live adaptation of The Jungle Book.
We have gone into the wild today, standing within the Lost Creek Cave and Falls State Natural Area. Stuart Carroll is with us. He is with Tennessee State Parks. Stuart, the way this is set up, it's tied into several different areas. Tell us how it's all interconnected.
Well, here you've got the waterfalls, Lost Creek Falls and the cave, and numerous cascades like this one in Rylander. This is over 200 acres as a natural area, but we're tied into another close to 2,000 acres with Virgin Falls. You can hike from here over to Virgin Falls. So this is part of a much larger area with lots of sightseeing and recreational opportunities. Lost Creek is just a great area to visit. Incredible wildflower display in March and April. Of course, the waterfalls itself, we call this the little sister to Virgin Falls. If you want to see some of the really unique geology of the Cumberland Plateau and the Highland Rim, this is a very accessible place to go and see. You can also hike in from this end now to Virgin Falls. So, and that trail is full of wildflowers in the spring. Lost Creek Falls, around 80 feet high, that's taking in account the Cascades up above, because it has some more waterfalls that you don't normally see up above it. It comes out of a cave, a spring up there, a big cave. It falls 80 feet over the different rocks, disappears into some more limestone passages at the base. And in turn, that water goes through the cave system, and you can view it again inside the cave.
Let's talk about the caves a little bit. First thing that I noticed, it is so much cooler. It's like natural air conditioning. It's so nice.
It's almost an average between the really coldest periods and the really hottest periods. The caves are much more stable than you find out here. This area here is really unique from another perspective. It's got all this cold air coming out of the cave, and we're in a big bowl or a sink. This looks like a big kitchen sink, and the cold air is trapped down here. So this is a cold air sink, and in the summer, it can be 90 degrees up at the top of the rim of the sink, and it can be 70 down in here. And so that not only creates a situation where it's much cooler down here, but it's much moisture down here. So you find a lot more abundance of plants and primitive plants and plants coating the boulders, and it's a very diverse area here in this sink.
I'm standing at the entrance of Lost Creek Cave in White County, just a few feet away from Lost Creek Falls. Chuck Sutherland is with me. He is a geographer, photographer, caver. Chuck, tell us what allows the Upper Cumberland the prime geological environment for cave formations.
We have very pure limestone here, like 400 feet thick. And limestone's different than other rocks. It dissolves in the presence of water, creates conduits, the conduits enlarge, and we get things like this. And so Tennessee has about 11,000 documented caves right now. That number is always increasing because we're always finding, documenting, and describing more of these features. Lost Creek is one of the larger ones, probably in the upper 10%. It's 4.12 miles of mapped cave passage here. It's mostly characterized by really large passages and breakdown, big chunks of rock that have fallen from the ceiling and walls piled up on the floor.
Thank you, Carlin Chevrolet, for contributing to WCTE PBS's Educational Endowment Fund. Carlin Chevrolet will match your donation today, doubling your donation to WCTE PBS.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual Day of Support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland.
Carlin Chevrolet celebrates WCTE's remarkable 45 years of invaluable service to the community. Through outstanding programming and commitment to education, WCTE has fostered a culture of learning, connectivity, and inclusivity. The Endowment Fund, as a vital component of WCTE's sustainability, ensures its ability to adapt and thrive in the face of changing times. We appeal to the community to join us in supporting WCTE's Endowment Fund. Carlin Chevrolet will match your gift today. Together, we can build a brighter future for WCTE and the communities it serves.
Sorry, that really didn't go well either. It was supposed to be part store.
Do we get the bloopers too?
Yes, we do. It's really great. Hi, I'm Caitlin Steakley. Ha ha ha. Okay. Let's see what adventures our Wish You Were Here correspondent Shan Stout had when she visited the Sergeant. Dang it.
It'd be like prime if one of these just jumped out and like smacked me in the face. Ah.
I have a vision. I got it. Vision. It was her vision. Here we go. Do I have to clap again?
Just inch around as you need.
Wish you were here.
Get it right? I don't know. Did I? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I hope so.
Jan? Don't fall. Don't fall.
Let's see what kind of underground adventures field correspondent Rafferty Cleary had. Let's see what kind of adventures field correspondent Rafferty Cleary. It's going to make for some really good bloopers.
Yeah, we're having too much fun.
I've giggled myself to death. It's just really hard not to make this extremely awkward, but hey, Craig, bet you wish you were here. Did I make that sound like weirdly romantic or something?
Don't you wish you were here?
Slow down, you crazy child. So ambitious for you now.
These buildings downtown have some very historical history, some rich history. Just making y'all some really good bloopers, okay? That's all I'm doing.
Welcome back to WCTE Special. We are going to be with you all day, well, the rest of today until 10 o'clock. We are going to take an hour break during PBS NewsHour, but we are here celebrating 45 years of WCTE being on the air here in the Upper Cumberland. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. You just finished watching some segments from the Wish You Were Here series.
Yeah.
Rafferty's a part of that, and he's here as a guest today just to talk a little bit about his experiences. And the best part, I do believe you all saw the blooper reel. Always a fan favorite?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of bloopers. Just to be completely honest, they don't get like half the ones that occur, but those are some pretty good ones that you saw just a few seconds ago.
Do you have a favorite blooper? I mean, I know you're famous for one particular one.
That's probably it, because it was supposed to be as simple as just dipping the net in, grabbing a fish, and it fitting perfectly. And I'm an avid fisherman, and for some reason could not get a grasp on a fish that day.
They were not cooperating.
No,
they were not cooperating with the television. And that was a series. I mean, we are in the second season of the Wish You Were Here series.
It's hard to believe.
It is. And y'all have grown a lot with the series. We've grown a lot with the series, but it's a great show that airs monthly that kind of gives you a highlight of everything there is to see and do in the Upper Cumberland. And it is just a great partnership with the Upper Cumberland Development District. Rafferty, I know quickly you said something earlier right before during the break about what you love to do for WCTE, what you love to watch. You might like to watch something.
So I get a lot of my education at nighttime right before bed. And of course, I love WCTE, always have, and we'll turn on the app. I'm into the Kim Burns documentary, so the Civil War and the baseball.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a great thing. Yes. So Kim Burns education. We've got Kim Burns series, American Buffalo, coming up in October. Something to look forward to. Thank you for being with me today, Rafferty.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Right. We're going to be right back.
Ready, astronaut Iggy? Ready, Wozy.
All eyes on me.
Start your engine.
I'm on TV. Somebody call me. Lights, camera.
Super duper. Action. I'm glad you've come to play.
Let's free some creatures.
Get all eyes on me. La 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 la.
Let's make art.
All eyes on me.
It's okay to talk about differences.
Hey, group hug. Ladies and gentle animals.
Hats on.
Lights, camera, action.
This is the Odd News Network main attraction. Wow, there's a whole world under the city.
Ta-da.
What just happened?
I've got an idea.
Yes.
I did a lot of new things today.
Amazing.
Let me see your move. Let's shake it up. All eyes on me.
There it is.
We are here at WCTE celebrating 45 years. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying with us. We are going to be with you throughout the evening tonight. We are celebrating 45 years of history with WCTE right here in the Upper Cumberland. And we have lots of specials in in line for you tonight to watch.
We do, Avery.
We've had a couple of guests already, but right now we're going to talk with Cindy Putman. Cindy has been with WCT 20 plus years.
23 years.
23 years, half
Half of
its
the
life.
time.
But really, your day job is working in the Putnam County School System.
Yes, this is my 31st year with the Putnam County School System. But Avery, you have to remember, I did start out volunteering at WCT back in what we like to call the golden days when we lived under the Tennessee Tech Stadium. And educational television meant that we recorded things on great big VCR tapes, and then we would distribute them to the teachers. So things have really changed in the last 45 years.
Wow. I don't even think there's a VCR out there for those tapes anymore. But there are children are watching and viewing PBS Kids content in all ways now. They're streaming it. They're watching
the
live.
PBS Kids 24/7 Kids channel is a great thing for kids. They're streaming it. They're loving all the great games and apps that are on PBS. So lots of wonderful things that we have progressed to become.
Yep. And we're making a big difference right here in the Upper Cumberland. And Miss Lorena is just one story that PBS helped us shoot a couple of years ago. And we actually have some footage of that. It's slightly altered, but it gets the point across. So I hope you'll stay with us as we go to see Miss Lorena's story. And Cindy and I will be right back with you.
Carlin Chevrolet celebrates WCTE's remarkable 45 years of invaluable service to the community. Through outstanding programming and commitment to education, WCTE has fostered a culture of learning, connectivity, and inclusivity. The Endowment Fund, as a vital component of WCTE's sustainability, ensures its ability to adapt and thrive in the face of changing times. We appeal to the community to join us in supporting WCTE's Endowment Fund. Carlin Chevrolet will match your gift today. Together, we can build a brighter future for WCTE and the communities it serves.
Oh, come on.
As a grandmother, I have 5 grandsons. Because of WCTE, I am able to utilize PBS resources. We don't have to worry about the language or the content because we know that it's not only appropriate for them to use, but it's also engaging and educational. I just want to thank WCTE for their great PBS activities that they have for students.
Into this country with no formal schooling, but who found a way to connect with their children's education through WCTE's Family Creative Learning Workshops. Cindy Putnam from WCTE tells the story better than anyone, so I'd like to share that with you now.
All parents want their children to be ready to learn when they start school, but one of the problems we face is we work with a lot of young parents from low-income families who did not have good experiences in the public school system. Every community has at-risk kids and families that are really, really struggling. And that was our target audience for the PBS Kids Family Creative Learning Workshops. And that's where I met Miss Lorena and her children. Hey, Miss Lorena.
Me llamo Lorena, tengo un hijo que se llama Alberto, que él tiene 8 años, y también tengo una hija, se llama Gladys.
Miss Lorena does not read or write in Spanish, and she speaks very little English. They came to our first pilot round of PBS Kids Scratch Junior, and I could see on her face she looked really intimidated. Over the course of these 8 trainings, she just blossomed. She was like our star pupil. PBS Kids Scratch Junior is kind of a universal language, and because she knew how to play the app, she could share that with the other students and the other parents. So the Family Creative Learning Workshops that PBS Kids Scratch Junior provided really gave her a connection, and that empowered Miss Lorena in ways that I can't even describe. For the first time in Miss Lorena's life, she can offer her children something in the realm of education that she couldn't offer them before. WCTE has a vested interest. We have these great PBS Kids resources. We have the partnership with the Putnam County School System. Our goal is to help parents and teachers be the very best they can be, and then therefore our entire community is going to be the very best that it can be.
Gracias a PBS Kids, muchas gracias.
I hope you enjoyed that Miss Lorena segment.
We have
Cindy-
lots of great stories. Over the course of 45 years, so many families have been impacted by what WCTE is able to do for the community. And Avery, one of my favorite things is going into the community and doing the family community learning workshops that we've been doing right now with some of our Empower families in the partnership that you have with the Upper Cumberland Development District and UCHRA. But you know, as an educator and now as a grandma, I absolutely love PBS Kids because my two littles, Ellie and Millie, it's important to me that they watch quality programming that teaches them something, programming that's as good on the front end as it is when it's over, because so many of the apps and things today that kids are exposed to are not healthy for their little brains. So always a safe place with PBS Kids and PBS Kids apps and PBS Kids games.
Well, and WCTE has been serving the Upper Cumberland for 45 years with public television and programming like Sesame Street, like Mr. Rogers, like
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, Reading
Yes.
Rainbow.
Eleanor Wonders Why.
Yes.
Nature Cat, Sesame Street, all those great programs. Alma's Way, a brand new program that's full of diversity and culture. And we're really teaching kids how to be better citizens and make this world a better place. And it's all healthy and it's all really, really directed and geared at kids at a very specific age. So if you have a 2-year-old, you can go to PBS Parents and you can find out what programs are just created by PBS for your child at a very specific age.
And the children love it. They
They
enjoy
love it.
watching
They love
and
it.
learning. And I hear a lot from the families that watch and learn together. And it's a great way for them to reinforce the work that's being done through the children's content.
And so many parents today are reminiscing about the programs that they loved on PBS. So it's really fun to take a trip down memory lane. But the work that WCT does and the work with the community and in education and with the great stations of imagination coming up, how would you not want to support this station? It is so important to our community and it's so important to your family. And as Avery said earlier, every small amount can make a huge difference here at WCTE, your PBS station of the Upper Cumberland.
That's right. And Carlin Chevrolet is matching those donations today. So make your gift and your amount will be doubled. We're going to be right back with some more of this 45th anniversary celebration.
Thank you, Carlin Chevrolet, for contributing to WCTE PBS's Educational Endowment Fund. Carlin Chevrolet will match your donation today, doubling your donation to WCTE PBS.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual Day of Support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland.
As a grandmother, I have 5 grandsons. Because of WCTE, I am able to utilize PBS resources. We don't have to worry about the language or the content because we know that it's not only appropriate for them to use, but it's also engaging and educational. I just want to thank WCTE for their great PBS activities that they have for students.
Early education really does ensure school success later on and life success. So many children actually do not get a chance to get high quality early education. Low-income families start with so many risks and barriers.
High-quality educational media can have a positive impact on early learning, especially in low-income communities.
The most critical years are from birth to 5. That's when most of the brain development takes place.
Early opportunities in language arts and reading and math provide the foundational understanding for success later on.
And this is where PBS Kids can play and does play a huge role.
PBS Kids content works. And our research has shown that kids have made positive and significant gains in their mathematics learning after using PBS Kids content. It's actually really amazing. There's a lot of active learning going on. They're problem solving together. And we find using the PBS Kids content has really empowered parents and made them feel more confident and able to help support their kids in their learning.
As a working single mother, I need all the help I can get. PBS Kids helps me as a parent reinforce the values that are important to me.
I think that PBS Kids certainly recognizes that they're on something here. Whether it's TV or the app or the games, you have that whole palette of opportunities for children.
School readiness is important for not only the child, it's important for the family, it's important for the community, it's important for the nation.
Cindy, I love celebrating WCTE, and this is our 45th anniversary. This is also a fundraiser for our education endowment. We want you to go ahead and make a gift today. You can call the number on your screen. You can go to our website, and you can use your credit card to put in a donation. Right now, Carlin Chevrolet is matching all your donations, essentially doubling the money to WCTE. So take a minute right now, make a small gift to the station, because your support does help us bring all this educational content to our community, all the family engagement that Cindy mentioned earlier. It just helps us celebrate and be able to serve the community in a sustainable way.
And one part of family engagement that's so important, Avery, is helping parents understand how to extend the learning at home, because we see lots of great learning that happens on screen, but you can also extend that learning at home in PBS Learning Media, PBS Parents. There are all kinds of resources online that educators and parents and caregivers of all littles and middle schoolers and high schoolers can access, and it's completely free. So your support of WCTE, your local PBS station, has a huge impact across the Upper Cumberland, and right here in our own community with Stations of Imagination coming up, all kinds of great ways that you and your family can learn about the quality programming that PBS Kids create and will continue to create, and WCTE will continue to air.
That's right. Now, for people that may not be familiar with Stations of Imagination, tell me just a little bit about it, how it got started.
It was an event that happened in honor of a young man, Sawyer Johnson, who passed away, and his parents, Brian and Rena. They wanted to keep his memory alive. He loved Sesame Street. He loved Elmo. So Stations began, and it's a free event, and it's around the courthouse square, and it's usually a little bit warm, and it looks like with our warm weather coming up, it may still be, but it's in September. It's completely free, and there will be booths that represent all of the great PBS Kids programming, lots of hands-on activities, and a little bird told me that Alma from Alma's Way is going to make a lot of very special guest appearances. So if your child loves PBS Kids, you don't want to miss WCTE Stations of Imagination.
Right. And Station of Imagination is just one way that we help get out into the community and support the community in learning. We also do things like the Academic Bowl, which supports high school students. We also contribute in the Spanish Festival or Window Around the World.
All kinds of great ways. And that's a great thing to know, because we do have such a diverse population here in the Upper Cumberland. All of the PBS Kids resources are in English and in Spanish. So when we're doing our community workshops with the families, and lots of times we have a translator, or our own Reggie Brown goes along, and she can translate in their native language. So it's a way to make everyone feel like they have an important role to play in the life of their child, and being their child's teacher and helping their child learn outside of the classroom. Because I can tell you, as an educator, we want our parents and our grandparents and our caregivers to extend that learning to home, and PBS Kids is a great place to start.
Absolutely. And we have been serving the Upper Cumberland now for 45
years. That's a wonderful testimony to the worth of WCTE.
We've seen a lot of changes over the years. I'm sure you at home have seen a lot of changes over the years. But we are here for eternity, for the long haul, you know.
Yes, and
We
these
don't
are
wanna
our
go anywhere.
best days ever. So
That's
support this station and support the quality programming that we've all come to love and depend on, not only for our own education to become lifelong learners, but for the education of the littles and the next generation that's coming after us.
That's right. Now, as a teacher, Cindy, WCT does provide resources to teachers,
Yes.
educators, Head Starts. You do a teach
Teach the teacher we do with Head Start, and we provide them with all the resources that they need to extend that learning in their classrooms, because all the PBS Kids shows are tailored for a very specific academic skill. All of that is listed online. Lots of research goes into it. So the work that you are seeing, and you can go to PBS Learning Media, there are a wealth of information resources that you can find there to use. But yes, and you can call the education department here at WCTE and talk to Dr. Cephas Abakwa, and Cephas can tell you everything that WCTE can do for you as an educator or as a parent.
We are here to support this community, this Upper Cumberland, with early learning resources and tools, and we hope you will take advantage of that. If you need any help, feel free to call the station and we will help you with that. Right now, we're going to go to another break, but we will be back.
On PBS Kids have the values that we would instill in Isaiah.
Thank you, Daniel Tiger.
You're welcome.
The shows are always respectful. It's the please and thank yous and the yes sirs and yes ma'ams. And that's huge help for us as parents.
And that's why we value PBS Kids.
Thank you, Carlin Chevrolet, for contributing to WCTE PBS's Educational Endowment Fund. Carlin Chevrolet will match your donation today, doubling your donation to WCTE PBS.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual day of support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland.
Because of members like you, WCTE PBS has served as an education partner in the Upper Cumberland for 45 years. By donating to the WCTE Endowment Fund, you'll help ensure that future generations of children will have access to creative, educationally rich programming and community engagement. Please donate today.
It's with great pleasure that we acknowledge WCTE PBS's 45 years of broadcasting service to the Upper Cumberland. This momentous occasion not only calls for celebration, but also presents an opportunity to reflect upon the organization's commendable contributions, all that they have made to our community over the years. Moreover, as the current past board chair, it's my honor to extend my heartfelt congratulations, as well as make a compelling appeal for support towards the Education Endowment Fund.
Ready, astronaut Iggy? Ready, Wozy.
All eyes on me.
Start your engine!
I'm on TV. Somebody call me. Lights, camera.
Super duper!
Action.
I'm glad you've come to play.
Let's free some creatures.
Get all eyes on me. La 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 la.
Let's make art!
All eyes on me.
It's okay to talk about differences. Yay! Group hug! Ladies and gentle animals!
Hats on.
Lights, camera, action.
This is the Odd News Network.
Main attraction.
Wow, there's a whole world under the city.
Ta-da!
What just happened?
I've got an idea.
Yes!
I did a lot of new things today. Amazing!
Let me see your move. Let's shake it up. All eyes on me.
There it is.
Cindy, in this last bit of this hour, I wanted the viewers at home to really get a little glimpse of just your history with the station. I mean, you've been with the station 23.
Well, I've been working for the station for 23 years, but prior to that, I was a volunteer. I think I did my first Great TV auction in 1985. So that tells you how long it has been. And I've had the privilege of hosting the Christmas parade and working and hosting at the fair and all kinds of great things. But what I love most, Avery, is working with the families throughout the Upper Cumberland. And one memory that's very important to me is we had a grandmother that lived in public housing in Salina, Tennessee. And she sent me the most wonderful handwritten letter that said that when Reggie Brown and I would come and we would do our family engagement meetings and we would bring free books from Sesame Street, that they had started a library in their home because she was raising her grandchildren. And so not only are we boots on the ground and hands-on, but we're providing great resources for families, and all of that's completely free when we do the workshops, when we do the events. And so I just want everyone to know that we are vested in this community and really believe in making an educational impact on the kids and families across the Upper Cumberland.
And that's just who we are right here in the Upper Cumberland and what we've been doing for 45 years and plan to do it for another 45 years.
Yes, that's exactly
Cindy,
right.
Thank you for coming in just a few minutes. I know you're going to be back around 7:30-ish and you'll get to hear more from Cindy at that time. But right now we're going to take a quick break as we get ready to go into the next hour. We're going to hear from Hippie Jack and we're going to see some segments, some old throwback segments from some of his shows.
And that's going to be fun.
It will be fun. Thank you for joining us.
Something's in the air, I hold my breath. What you're doing is incredible. I'm so proud of you. With 1 foot off the edge, I take a step. The moment's come, now's the chance.
I believe this is going to be your journey.
We are co-authors with the world around us.
Starting now. Looking for me?
We've been here, and without us, there is no United States.
It's only just begun. Something new.
It's all about storytelling. That's beautiful.
It's starting now.
Your legacy will live on through a gift at WCTE's Education Endowment Fund. Your contribution secures the mission of lifelong learning for your lifetime and beyond. Whether an outright or planned gift, make your commitment today. Your legacy gift to the WCTE Education Endowment Fund guarantees educational access for all.
Into this country with no formal schooling, but who found a way to connect with their children's education through WCTE's Family Creative Learning Workshops. Cindy Putnam from WCTE tells the story better than anyone, so I'd like to share that with you now.
All parents want their children to be ready to learn when they start school, but one of the problems we face is we work with a lot of young parents from low-income families who did not have good experiences in the public school system. Every community has at-risk kids and families that are really, really struggling. And that was our target audience for the PBS Kids Family Creative Learning Workshops. And that's where I met Miss Lorena and her children. Hey, Miss Lorena.
Me llamo Lorena, tengo un hijo que se llama Alberto, que él tiene 8 años, y también tengo una hija, se llama Gladys.
Miss Lorena does not read or write in Spanish, and she speaks very little English. They came to our first pilot round of PBS Kids Scratch Junior, and I could see on her face she looked really intimidated. Over the course of these 8 trainings, she just blossomed. She was like our star pupil. PBS Kids Scratch Junior is kind of a universal language. And because she knew how to play the app, she could share that with the other students and the other parents. So the Family Creative Learning Workshops that PBS Kids Scratch Junior provided really gave her a connection, and that empowered Miss Lorena in ways that I can't even describe. For the first time in Miss Lorena's life, she can offer her children something in the realm of education that she couldn't offer them before. WCTE has a vested interest. We have these great PBS Kids resources. We have the partnership with the Putnam County School System. Our goal is to help parents and teachers be the very best they can be, and then therefore our entire community is going to be the very best that it can be.
Gracias a PBS Kids, muchas gracias.
If you're just joining us, we are celebrating 45 years right here in the Upper Cumberland, serving the community with educational programming over the air. We've had several guests on already. We're just getting warmed up. If you're joining us, we are going to take a quick break during PBS NewsHour, but we'll be back at 7 o'clock and we'll be on through till 10 o'clock. We are celebrating 45 years, and more importantly, we are raising awareness about the Education Endowment Fund. We're raising awareness, we're raising funds for that as a way to celebrate 45 years. Your dollars are going to be matched. We have sponsors. We had Carlin Chevrolet earlier that's sponsoring, and now we have the Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry right here in the Upper Cumberland that's going to be matching your gifts during this next hour. I have a special guest with me, Hippie Jack. Welcome.
Lovely to be here.
Yes.
Let me try that again. Lovely to be here. I think I've done 45 years of fundraising, haven't I?
Maybe, yes, I
Something
think
like
so.
right around there.
We are going to hear a little bit more from Hippie and all the great things he's doing in the Upper Cumberland. We've done a throwback. We've got a couple of segments for some throwback, and we're going to take a look at that in just a minute. So stay with us.
Thank you, Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry, for contributing to WCTE PBS's Educational Endowment Fund. Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry will match your donation today, doubling your donation to WCTE PBS.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual Day of Support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland.
Something's in the air, I hold my breath. What you're doing is incredible. I'm so proud of you. With 1 foot off the edge, I'll take a step. The moment's come, now is the chance.
I believe this is going to be your journey.
We are co-authors with the world around us.
Starting now.
Looking for me?
Within here and without us, there is no United States.
It's only just begun. Something new.
It's all about storytelling. That's beautiful.
It's starting now.
Way down in the woods, far from the highways, away from the moments unnoticed and gone. Way down in the woods, touching moss so soft on the dead wood dying in times for alarms.
We moved here in March of 1972 from South Florida. It was like stepping back in time. It was, you look around and it was like the 50s. People were still raising hogs for meat, and killing them themselves and heating with wood, making whiskey and, growing big gardens.
That time period, there would have probably been a few automobiles then. Mostly have been horse and wagons or buggies. And that's inside town and outside in the county. And then later on, automobiles started, they started having automobiles and trucks and stuff too.
My mom had a wood cook stove, and we had to cut wood. We had to get in her wood and carry water from the spring to do the next day. And that was every day.
Most of the families, though, would raise, and fix their food and stuff at home and raise their gardens and stuff, but you had your staples that was at your county and community grocery stores, we call them now, but they were stores then that people, didn't get or couldn't make. They'd go down and buy too. So
Sunday, we didn't work. We got together and played baseball and done whatever, you know. But we growed pretty much on what we eat. Kill hogs in the fall. And they'd smoke their meat and to render their lard and put away stuff. And I can remember back there when nobody had electricity, no water, no running water. And that's about the way of everybody.
First off, he would dig root, they say, yellow root, ginseng, stuff like that. And then he would walk over the mountain, generally over the mountain, and barefoot overalls, you know, and he would go to Miss Copeland's store and he would trade her, she would trade him the roots for dried beans and plug tobacco and coffee. He lived very simple, but that's how he would get his staples. I don't remember or think that he ever went anywhere else.
Nobody didn't look down on nobody because they was poor. We was all poor. And but the one good thing, if somebody was having a rough time, why they would go in and get a ham of meat and take it to them, or they would, you know, help them out.
Way down in the woods, walking close to my heart, turned loose in my tongue and thank God for the stars.
I was looking for some escaped horses from Copeland Cove, and I followed their footprints way around the bend, which is a long ways. And I was feeling a little bit disoriented, and I saw some smoke and actually came around off the road and walked up on the side of the bench here. And I looked down at this cabin, and something just moved me. It was unbelievable.
Thank God for the stars, each one in the heavens. Thank God where you are and you're traveling steps.
Claude's dogs saw me, started barking, and I was standing on the side of a chestnut fence up there. And I figured I better not run. And next thing I knew, Claude came out, and it was unreal. It was an out-of-body experience. He had an old felt hat and old overalls and a homespun shirt and barefooted, and he come up to the fence and met me. You know, he was surprisingly cordial. I think I might have reminded him of the neighbors he used to have because I had long hair and I was dressed, you know, kind of rough. And I found out later that Claude was real shy and didn't actually present himself to most people. But we immediately hit it off, and we talked about where I came from and how I'd been involved in the anti-war movement up north. And he talked about how he lived here and slowly everybody moved away or died, and he was here by himself.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that segment. That was Where Stories Live, and where we went back in time just a bit. And talked, and we heard a story about a hermit from Overton County. And you knew Claude.
We were very close.
Yeah. So, I mean, what did it mean for you to be able to tell that story?
Well, Claude was real early on in my Tennessee adventure moving here, and he personified really what was. And the more I knew Claude, the more I could look in reverse and see what living back in time was. And he was a special dude. He was real bright and real smart, but lived old style. Mm-hmm. And I just learned a lot from Claude, you know. What can you do?
Yeah, it was kind of a fun story to be able to tell. We went back and saw the old cabin that he grew up in and then lived in his whole life.
First time I'd seen it since I'd been there when he was alive.
And we heard from some other local people from the community that had some experiences with Claude. I just think that being able to tell stories like that is so important for the Upper Cumberland.
Well, if you can tell the story and help people see it, and that's what I was doing, was photographing Claude, I think it makes a lot of difference, especially with younger people who have no experience with people like that.
Right. And Where Stories Live is a new series that's been on WCT now for one season. We're getting ready to record the second season, which will premiere in October. But storytelling in the Upper Cumberland is just one way WCTE serves our community. We have lots of educational programming, which
Cool.
we all tune in and watch and enjoy. Like we mentioned in the last hour, Ken Burns is coming out with a new American Buffalo.
Yeah.
But besides all of the documentaries and the news programs, we also bring a world of PBS Kids content to our communities. And that information is so very valuable, especially to those families in the rural communities.
Hugely important. We have an outreach for those of you who haven't heard of it, and we provide food and other services for people way on back that may not be economically comfortable. And so many of the small children, when you go to the homes, are watching PBS. For one thing, that's all they can get over the air, and over the air broadcasting is so important. And these kids don't have Head Start, and they're not able to get any early childhood education. So they rely on this, and their parents or grandmothers, depending on who's raising them, depend on it, and they're into it daily.
Yep. And 45 years, WCT has been serving the Upper Cumberland with this type of programming. A lot has changed in the 45 years.
Yeah.
But we are still continuing the work that we originally were put here to do, which was to serve the rural communities right here in the Upper Cumberland. We provide them with programming. We provide them with early learning resources. But we also have the necessities like weather. We started providing some weather updates.
My buddy Roy, he was sitting down for that.
He's requested it, and it occurred to us that if you are in a rural spot and all you
That's
get
it.
is WCT, you may not get the local weather. So we started providing some local weather updates.
Yep.
And it's just kind of what we do here. But right now we're also besides celebrating 45 years, we're also wanting to build awareness about the Education Endowment Fund. The fund has been put in place to help sustain the work that WCTE does, and you can be a part of that by making a gift today to support WCTE.
I want to be a part of that.
We want you to be a part
I
of it.
want to be. I'll do it.
Yep. And right now, Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry is matching your gifts. So if you make a donation, no matter what that amount might be, it's going to be doubled by the Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry. And we thank them for their support.
Oh, we love Steve.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
He's going to be in just a little bit to give us just a little insight to what he's been up to today. But right now we're talking to you about the great things that WCTE is doing right here in the Upper Cumberland and has been bringing you information for the last 45 years. So besides local storytelling, and we saw a lot of segments about where stories, or Wish You Were Here. Now we're talking about Where Stories Live. But before those shows ever came out, you've been a part of the PBS for a long time.
I have.
When Becky was here, she did a couple of shows on you. Do you remember
several?
those?
I do. She called me an entrepreneur, and I had to look it up.
Yes.
No, Becky was great.
Yeah.
She got it. She knew the background, and she brought that to the screen, and I always appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see a couple of segments from some throwbacks here in just a minute.
I was younger.
You were? Yes, you were.
I was younger.
Weren't we all, though? So anyhow, we are here in the studios at WCTE celebrating 45 years. If you have missed some of our local shows and maybe you saw the Claude Ramsey story and you wanted to get more information on that, you can visit our WCTE.org website and just go to watch. And we have all of our old shows right there listed where you can actually go on and watch on demand. So much of our content these days, people like to watch on demand.
Oh, yeah. It's the way to go. And you can watch it day or night. I'd like 2 in the morning is a good time. Claude was up at 2 in the morning.
Yes.
That's when he got up.
That's when he got up?
Yeah.
Claude? Yes. Claude Ramsey, going back to his story, we're also doing some other stories with, we did a story on Dr. Derry Berry here, and his experiences growing up as a child as a Tennessee Tech campus. We also did Todd Matthews, who's from Overton County.
That's right.
He investigates dead people. So,
To make sure they're dead, right?
Or identify them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I wasn't sure.
Well, anyways.
Wait a second. This one's still alive.
Dr. May, who was a doctor in the early 1900s in
Wow.
Crossville, the Cumberland Plateau. So great stories there that are being told because this station is right here in the Upper Cumberland. And we want to continue to bring these stories to you. And the way we can do that is by having your gift, your donation to the Education Endowment Fund.
That's right. It's history that you brought, so you can brag on it.
That's right. Now, before we go to the next segment, I didn't know, do you have any special favorite stories that you want to?
Well, of course, the
share?
collage story is very important to me. But I've written about every single photograph I have in the Smithsonian. So there's Claude Webb and there's Joe Bilbrey. I mean, just they're all very special to me, and they were all set back in time. Ms. Copeland, who ran the little country store down the road from us, get a big old sandwich for 35 cents. We fed you and the rest of the kids on that. But they're all dear to me. They're all precious to me.
Okay. Well, we're going to go here now to see the life through the lens of Jack Stoddard. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. All right. Well, we're getting ready to take a look at that. It is a 5-minute segment, and then we're going to be right back to talk a little bit more about it.
All right. Well, thank you.
You know, primarily what really interests me the most is cultures, vanishing type cultures, and people that have maintained that kind of integrity for whatever reason, been able to carry on as their grandparents and great-grandparents and stuff did. I'm interested in that. That's what cameras are for, to me.
A snapshot. One quick glance at who Jack Stoddard is and the life he captures through his craft. How can you possibly describe him? He's rough, irreverent, kind and gentle. He loves dogs, despises injustice. He's an artist, a photographer, a husband, a father and a grandfather, a neighbor and a friend. Through his photography, he has a gift of capturing generations of people, places and cultures that are vanishing.
You know, there's lots of different ways to approach art or craft or whatever it is we do. And I've always felt like I didn't want to work with contrived subjects, that I felt it was necessary to portray history. I think cameras, by their very nature, lend themselves to history and cultures. And I never wanted to condescend to my subjects. I always wanted to portray them in a natural environment without trying to arrange their environment. And this just was the perfect place for it because there was still people living an agrarian lifestyle when I moved here. I mean, on Highland Mountain, we lived with moonshiners and people that were still seriously making whiskey and killing hogs every fall and living in little houses and heating with wood. And it was perfect. And there was a little store, the Miss Copeland store, and literally with the big cook stove, big heating stove in the middle of the store, everybody's sitting around in common chairs and all the neighbors knew each other. And it was very comfortable.
When did you start taking photographs?
I mean, when I was little, I always had a little brownie camera or something. I started being interested in printmaking, which is really, I think, when you transcend into printmaking, that's when you start, you know, it becomes consuming. For my style of photography, and this style of photography, for the want of a better description, is more or less a Stieglitz or a Steichen era black and white photography. The printmaking is open tray, it's extended wash, it's exclusively fiber paper, it's silver gel, and Miami is sort of bright colors and hard angles and short history, and the culture is there, but it's a transitional culture. And we came up here for a variety of reasons, and just instantly the subject matter opened itself up to me.
And your wife, did she take photographs?
Generally, I push the button, but that's just a relative thing. I mean, we see things together, and we've always done everything together.
For Jack and Lynn, also affectionately known as Munch, which is short for Munchkin, it has been a life of seeing things together that began over 30 years ago in a secluded spot in Copeland's Cove.
All right, this is a spot where on August 1st, 1971, we got married, overlooking this waterfall here and this waterfall here, in the middle of this nobody's mountain. And we had people come from Florida, and we had people come from Connecticut, and we had people come from New York, New Jersey. And, it was my best day. It was the smartest thing I ever did. And right then we knew what we wanted to do. We wanted to have a family, and we wanted to, stay here and live this lifestyle and raise our children like this. Primarily what really interests me the most.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual day of support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland.
Thank you, Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry, for contributing to WCTE PBS's Educational Endowment Fund. Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry will match your donation today, doubling your donation to WCTE PBS.
Something's in the air, I hold my breath.
What you're doing is incredible. I'm so proud of you.
With 1 foot off the edge, I'll take a step. The moment's come, now is the chance.
I believe this is going to be your journey.
We are co-authors with the world around us.
Starting now.
Looking for me?
We've been here, and without us, there is no United States.
It's only just begun. Something new.
It's all about storytelling. That's beautiful.
It's starting now.
Ready, astronaut Iggy? Ready, Wozy.
All eyes on me.
Start your engine!
I'm on TV. Somebody call me. Lights, camera.
Super duper!
Action.
I'm glad you've come to play.
Let's free some creatures.
Get all eyes on me. La 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 la.
Let's make art!
All eyes on me.
It's okay to talk about differences. Real hug! Ladies and gentle animals!
Hats on.
Lights, camera, action.
This is the Odd News Network.
Main attraction.
Wow! There's a whole world under the city! Ta-da! What just happened? I've got an idea!
Yes!
I did a lot of new things today. Amazing!
Let me see your move. Let's shake it up. All eyes on me.
There it is.
That's who she is. And as a working single mother, I need all the help I can get.
Wow!
PBS Kids helps me as a parent reinforce the values that are important to me.
Elongate means to make something longer.
With Word Girl, she's learning these new words, and they aren't things that I taught her. It is just so welcome as a parent to be able to rely on PBS Kids, and I really value that.
I hope you enjoyed that segment of Through the Lens of Jack Stoddard.
I
Did you
get it.
recognize that guy?
I saw him. He seemed like my younger brother.
Seemed like a different life.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great story. And it really highlighted some of the old photographs that you
It
had. You
did.
talked a little bit about that in the first segment.
Yeah, we're real proud of that stuff. I mean, in a way, it's the most important stuff we did because we were fresh. You know, it makes a difference.
And you didn't start out here. You're not a local.
No, I started out in South Florida, but once we got off probation down there, we moved here.
Well, and so when you moved here in 1971,
Two.
72,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like in this area? WCT, I mean, we weren't even on the air yet in 72.
It was like with Claude, it was like stepping back in time. And after growing up in a place like Miami where everybody wasn't so friendly, it was the nicest bunch of people. It was like, I like to say, it was like meeting the family I'd never had.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew we'd never leave.
Yeah.
Never left.
You haven't left.
Nope.
50 years later.
Had children here.
Yeah, right. Just a couple.
4, but she's the oldest.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then, so you did that for a while. You did the photography.
Yep.
You traveled,
Yep.
took photos, kind of documented the Upper Cumberland area. And then somewhere in the early 2000s, you decided to start a music festival. Tell us about that.
Well, some people told me no one would come. But
They did, didn't
you
they?
know, they did. I always wanted to do something along those lines. It was difficult to do the printing and the work I needed to do on the other stuff. Digital photography kind of changed all that. And so we started out, actually, Becky was in on it, and we were having a gallery opening, and we were sitting around the fire, and I think Becky had a glass of wine. I didn't have anything. And I said, you know what we ought to do? We ought to make a music festival out here and put it on WCTE. And Becky, being Becky, said, okay. And I never made any video or I made any content, but we started out and it went pretty well from the beginning, and people liked to play there. Yeah. And it was like 12 or 14 years. I don't know.
It also kind of opened up doing some storytelling of your own.
It
through
did.
Video.
It did.
What did you learn from that?
I learned that if you have an audience, it's great. And it kind of helped me to rethink the things I'd seen and the things I'd done, and to have it on video and have it in the interview process. So it was great. I never met a microphone I didn't like, and I kind of like this one.
Yeah, we're doing a great job.
Well, I know. I always do.
Yep. Well, we've got more segments that we're going to share with our viewers. The next one is Hippie Jack and Friends.
All right.
We were talking during the break, if you remembered that those interviews.
We'll remember when we see them.
When we see them, that's what he said. But for right now, we want to remind you at home that this is a time that we want to fundraise, a time that we want to build awareness about the Education Endowment Fund. That fund will sustain WCTE for many years after today, and it will help us continue to bring local storytelling to you, just like the Hippie Jack stories.
How else are you going to directly help local? Yeah. And that's what this is. So you can't go wrong with that, and you can be proud of yourself for going right with that.
That's right. And right now, speaking of local, we have the Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry, who's actually matching the gifts during this hour. So if you donate $30, it's going to be $60.
That's my dentist.
There you go. So support the dentist so he can support us. And
That's
the work
right.
that we're doing.
That's right. So I can rub it in.
Yeah. And we will hear from Dr. Ellis here in just a moment. But right now, if you'll take a minute, just consider a donation to WCTE. It doesn't have to be a whole lot, but when you support WCTE, you are supporting all this local programming locally. Just like if you tuned in last week and saw some of the Putnam County Fair. I mean, people really enjoy that.
I loved it. I love it. I watch it every year, but I like Antique Roadshow the best.
Yeah. A lot of people like Antique Roadshow.
I love it. I can't help it.
Yeah. Well, and you actually like record it, don't you, and rewatch it?
I do.
Yeah.
I like it once again about 2 a.m.
Yep.
Wake up, can't sleep, Antique Roadshow.
Go straight to bed.
Yep.
Well, and lots of people are watching in many different ways these days. The
It's true.
on-demand is a very popular.
It's a great thing.
And when you make a donation of $60 or more, you're going to be you have availability for PBS Passport, which is an on-demand series of.
I've got it.
Yes.
It's well worth it.
Yep. $5 a month, and you can be a Passport member. You can go back and rewatch all the Antiques Roadshows that you want.
All the Hippie Jack.
All the Hippie Jack. You might even be interested in Ken Burns, or maybe you love Masterpiece and you want to go back and watch some of those series. Binge watching is popular these days.
I've taught Ken a lot of what he knows.
Did you?
Yeah, he writes me daily. Yeah.
Ken Burns.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You need to learn.
That's right. Well, we do love Ken Burns. He's going to have a new series coming up in
Yeah.
October, The American Buffalo. It should be a tremendous 2-part story.
What's that about?
American Buffalo.
Is it really strictly
American Indians, and the buffalo, the history
that time
behind
frame?
of it.
It'll be great, no doubt about it.
It'll absolutely be great. So we're looking forward to that. But just take a minute right now. Again, make a pledge to WCTE, support us, get PBS Passport, and let us know
That's right.
what you love about us.
Make the phones ring.
Yep. Yeah. We have had a couple of comments that have come in. People have made gifts and honorariums. We've also had some in memories of. So if you want to make a gift to somebody special in your life, do that and
Good
read it
idea.
on air. We're with you now until 6:00. We're going to take a quick break so you can watch PBS NewsHour. Then we're going to be back at 7:00. We'll be on from 7 to 10, bringing you lots of new content. Right now, we're going to take another quick segment. We're going to watch Through the Lens of Jack Stoddart, or Hippie.
Hippie Jack and Friends.
So stay with us, watch this segment, and we'll be right back.
Fine art photographer Jack Stoddart and his wife Lynn moved from Miami to a rural area of the Upper Cumberland region of Tennessee. They were very young, and it was the early 70s. They were part of the counterculture revolution that found the people and the hills of Tennessee endearing. Many of that generation of transplants left, but not the Stoddarts.
If we were in town on the square walking around, they would just stop the cars and stare at us. And I don't think it was because we were that much different. We weren't we didn't look that much different, but we were just not from here. And everybody knew that, we said, well, when will we be locals? And they said, when everybody that's here now is gone.
Jack and Lynn made Overton County their home, living in a variety of small communities like Highland Mountain and Copeland's Cove, and captured the people and places permanently on film as a part of their life's work. It's been over 30 years since Jack and Lynn came to Tennessee. They've raised 4 children, a host of pets, and are now experiencing the joy of their first grandchild. This is home.
A lot of people that moved out into groups. They were sort of like counterculture gated communities, but we did not. We moved into a situation where all our neighbors were, just old rural people, really wonderful old time people, and that was our peer group. That was my peer group, and so it didn't take. It wasn't overnight, but they certainly accepted us over a period of time. I'll take your picture.
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't seem right, though.
No. Since you're holding the nose.
I know.
Yeah. I think
Here,
you
it's
should
all ready to
here,
go.
take
All
this
you gotta
picture.
do is point it at me and push that button.
That right there.
Yep.
How far do I get away?
No, you're perfect. You're perfect. But,
Oh, look at that.
now you're a professional.
Aha.
You want to join the union?
Yeah.
Today's the day. It's WCTE's birthday and annual day of support. Thanks to your generosity, we are celebrating educational programming and initiatives. Please join us by donating to the WCTE PBS Education Endowment and supporting educational outreach in the Upper Cumberland.
Thank you, Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry, for contributing to WCTE PBS's Educational Endowment Fund. Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry will match your donation today, doubling your donation to WCTE PBS.
What a great throwback to this 45th anniversary. Friends with Hippie Jack.
Yeah, who would have thought I had any?
I think you have a lot of friends.
I have some. I
Yeah,
do.
I think you do.
There's one out here waiting.
I know. He's waiting to come in. Dr. Ellis.
Dr. Ellis.
Yep. Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry is sponsoring this hour of the fundraiser, the 45-year anniversary. All your dollars will be matched with their gift. So now's the time for you to, pledge some money.
I'm going to pledge $1 million.
Pledge $1 million.
See what he does.
We'll see what happens with that. But in all seriousness, we do hope that you will consider making a gift to WCT's Education Endowment Fund. We are celebrating 45 years. Your support will help sustain the station for many, many years to come after today. It also has helped bring the past donations have helped us bring all this local content to you, which you've been watching over the last hour and a half or so.
Yeah, a lot of it. I'd forgotten how much.
Yeah, local storytelling.
It's great.
Really,
I love it. Love doing it.
Yeah. And we talked about Where Stories Live, and that is a new series. We're actually going to be filming for season 2, which will premiere in October. So we hope people will be excited to
Am I in that one?
We'll figure it out.
All right. I want to be.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So, there are lots of ways you can contribute to the station, and one way is just by giving a gift. And we've had a number of people make some contributions already, and they've pledged their money, but they've also written a little note saying who they've made the gift in name of. So I want to just read a few. Bob and Kat Rust made a gift, and they their message was to watch the PBS NewsHour nightly.
Good idea.
So that's a great one, because we are going to take a break. Don't worry, folks. If you thought we were going to run all the way through NewsHour, we're not going to.
Not going to happen.
We're going to take a break at 6 o'clock, let you all tune into the PBS NewsHour, and then we'll be back at 7 to 10, and we've got lots more content coming your way. Benita Barger, Dr. Benita Barger, who's also a board member and a member of the station, she wrote in, "I appreciate the services and education of Nina Lunn. She has given WCT and the Upper Cumberland." And Nina Lunn was on at the 4 o'clock hour. She has been a board member. She was also our chair for 2 years, and she's contributed about 10 years of service to WCTE.
Can't beat that.
That's pretty incredible. We also have Kate Spurlock. She also sent a gift in honor of her dear friend, Nina Lunn. So if you make a gift, you can put it in honor of someone or in memory of someone, and we will read it on the air.
And it'll be there forever.
And it'll be here forever.
Could be forever.
Yep, that's right. That's right. So, Hippie, there's WCT has done a lot, but we also had the privilege of Sunday morning coming, CBS Sunday morning. PBS celebrated 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And to commemorate that CBS Sunday morning did a whole story on PBS.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that story was about WCTE. Do you remember watching that?
Sure.
Yeah. Well,
was that the one with Frankie and Patricia?
Patricia?
Yeah, we've lost Frankie.
Yes.
Two of my dearest friends on the mountain, and they were thrilled to be a part of that.
Yeah, they were, and there was also the gentleman on the porch.
Oh, Roy.
Roy was there.
He's the one that wanted you to do the weather.
That's right. He wanted us to do the weather, and we've done the weather.
And
now.
he was proud of that too.
Yeah. So we did take the little segment out of the CBS Sunday Morning just because we wanted to share it with you at home. If you happen to have missed that series, that story, we are now going to give you a short little clip of that.
Nice.
So that's going to be coming up, and then we're going to hear from Dr. Ellis from the Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry, and then we're going to wrap up the night or this hour, coming back here and talking a little bit more about our services to the Upper Cumberland.
Does that mean I'm done?
Not yet.
Oh, not done yet. Don't worry, folks. Hang on.
He's having fun, I promise.
Yeah, I like it. No, I like it. I do.
Yeah. So, WCT, 45 years, you've been here.
45.
45 years at least.
Feels like it.
Yeah. And a little bit more than that, actually.
Probably.
But when do you recall the first time you started watching WCTE?
Well, when we were living in the Volkswagen bus on the mountain, it was all we could get. Not that that mattered, but that's when we started.
Yeah.
Antique Roadshow and wrestling. Y'all had wrestling then.
Really?
No.
No. Okay. I didn't think so. That could be interesting. We do cover the fair.
Well, it's a lot like barrel racing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, a lot has changed in those couple of years.
It has changed.
And,
The hairdos are different.
Yeah, the hairdos are a little different, but also the content. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like WCT is doing a great job reaching into the families that we serve, really providing them resources and tools.
Y'all do so much local broadcast too. I think that's especially important, and probably more than anybody, don't you? And PBS.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the main reasons we're here. There was not a lot going on. We're the only television station in a 75-mile radius. There is no other broadcast that's telling the stories right here.
I'm working on a piece that goes back to when I first started shooting on the mountain, which was about 14 years ago. And if I can ever get myself together to fix that, we'll show it on WCTE in segments.
I think that's a great idea.
Oh, it'll be cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, we are here celebrating 45 years. We're also building awareness around the education endowment. Make a gift today. Help us continue the work that we're doing through WCTE. A gift to the endowment will sustain the station for many years to come. Continue to bring you great educational programming, the weather, any kind of alerts, early learning, literacy.
And does that make you a producer?
We
maybe not. You could call yourself a producer.
We could. But right now, we're going to take a break, and we're going to go see the CBS Sunday Morning clip, which I hope you will enjoy. It's a great segment. It'll be another throwback for you.
Yep.
All right, folks. Stay with us.
And once, when sisters Frankie and Patricia Murphy couldn't get their TV to work,
this is remarkable. Now, last time I was here, it was up in a tree. Yeah.
she even drove out and fixed their antenna for them.
We're just forsaken. That's what I take it. We're forsaken. We're just down into the reeds and nobody cares.
They're grateful for whatever WCTE puts on, living in a region trapped in the digital divide with spotty cell service and no internet.
You can go and buy a dish, but you can't hardly get no signals over in here if it clouds up.
Listen to what Roy Sells watches on WCTE.
Front lines. Y'all watch nature a lot. I like the news hour. They give you a view of what's going on everywhere. The Allies would have to.
And he likes Ken Burns' documentaries.
I ain't never met him, but he seems like a down-to-earth guy, Seems like he's got a great career ahead of him.
A great career indeed.
Hemingway was a writer who happened to be American.
If there's one name that's synonymous with PBS, it's Ken Burns. I see you all working together.
Yes, this represents sort of 2.5 editing teams.
We visited him in New Hampshire before COVID. For nearly 4 decades, he's been producing blockbuster, award-winning documentaries for PBS. 29 so far, with another decade's worth in the works.
The principal one here for the time being is on Ernest Hemingway, a 3-part, 6-hour series. Very, very complicated.
It's like he changed all the furniture in the room.
With audiences averaging 40 million for his films, Ken Burns, probably more than any other American, is shaping our understanding of history. Adults are watching, but if it's a school day, so are kids.
PBS, we're in every classroom in the country. We know how to reach every classroom in the country, and we do.
And during COVID, arguably more important than ever,
Hey, dear, sweet, beautiful, brilliant students here.
as PBS and its member stations help school systems deliver remote learning to millions of students.
We're here learning.
Well, this sentence has
On PBS, even the cartoons are educational.
Maybe I can read it. Will you help me?
This is Studio One. If you look at the sign right there.
They were like a magic door for 27-year-old Dre Reed, growing up poor in Southwest Philadelphia, watching PBS station WHYY, dreaming of making cartoons himself.
And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but it's there.
PBS, no exaggeration, changed his life.
I would watch PBS Kids like religiously, all the cartoons until cartoons went off. And then I kept watching. Before I knew it, by the age of 12, I could probably have a conversation with someone like in their 50s on topics that they find interesting.
When he was in high school, one of his teachers recommended him for an after-school program at WHYY.
You mean the same place where I watch like PBS Kids? And it was like, yes, calm down, but yes, because of the work that I, did with WHYY, it gave me a president's scholarship. And then I was able to, pursue my dream of animation.
This is one of those, wait, there's more stories.
All right, guys, I want you to draw this with me.
Now, Dre Reed works at WHYY, teaching video production in more than 40 schools.
Remember, you can draw anything in basic shapes.
And lately, during COVID, online drawing classes sponsored by the station.
Those are the basic shapes. Now y'all feel confident that y'all can draw anything, right? If PBS was a person, I would like to be that person for another person. It doesn't have to be a kid. It doesn't have to be a student. What PBS did was like it opened up a world to me to think about things in a new way.
Birthday testimonials don't get much better than that.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
I hope you enjoyed that CBS Sunday morning segment. I found it to be just a nice reminder to all the work that we're doing.
Well, those were the folks that came to the morning breakfast that time, and everybody loved them.
Yes, when CPB came.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, that's exactly who we're serving. I mean, that's a great testament to the work that we're doing just right here in the Upper Cumberland every single day. And one of the reasons that WCTE was put here was to serve those communities.
But Patricia loves Clifford the Red Dog.
Me too.
Well, who couldn't?
I know. Well, Hippie, it's been a lot of fun having you here today.
Yep.
And being able to share some of your stories with our viewers at home and a few segments.
Where else would I get a chance to broadcast my stuff?
That's right.
But WCTE.
Yep. So it's 45 years serving the Upper Cumberland. It's time for you now to make a small little gift to WCTE.
Or a big one.
Or a big one.
A big one would be good.
So
Ellis has to match it. So
that's right. So next we're going to have Dr. Ellis from Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry here just to say a few words. And then we're going to go on into PBS NewsHour. And then we'll be back at 7 o'clock. So stay with us because we've got just a few minutes more left in this hour. And you're not going to want to miss it.
Well,
Elizabeth has a big personality, and that's who she is. And as a working single mother, I need all the help I can get.
Wow!
PBS Kids helps me as a parent reinforce the values that are important to me.
Elongate means to make something longer.
With Word Girl, she's learning these new words, and they aren't things that I taught her. It is just so welcome as a parent to be able to rely on PBS Kids. And I really value that.
Thank you, Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry, for contributing to WCTE PBS's Educational Endowment Fund. Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry will match your donation today, doubling your donation to WCTE PBS.
It's such a joy to see a child grow and learn.
Our son Gus loves Dinosaur Train.
We were watching, and the next thing we knew, he knew the alphabet. Gus learned his entire alphabet by watching Dinosaur Train. It just brings tears to my eyes, and it's incredible. PBS Kids shows have great values that just support what we are trying to do, and it's important to us as parents.
WCTE PBS has served as an education partner in the Upper Cumberland for 45 years. By donating to the WCTE Endowment Fund, you'll help ensure that future generations of children will have access to creative, educationally rich programming and community engagement. Please donate today.
It's with great pleasure that we acknowledge WCTE PBS's 45 years of broadcasting service to the Upper Cumberland. This momentous occasion not only calls for celebration, but also presents an opportunity to reflect upon the organization's commendable contributions, all that they have made to our community over the years. Moreover, as the current past board chair, it's my honor to extend my heartfelt congratulations, as well as make a compelling appeal for support towards the Education Endowment Fund.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this hour with WCTE. We've had Hippie in here. We've had some throwback videos, just a little nostalgia to our area. But before we closed out this hour, I really wanted to thank Dr. Steve Ellis and the Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry for all the donations that you've made to WCTE and supporting the work that we do. So thank you.
You're more than welcome. And we're hoping that other folks will match more.
That's right. So your donations will be matched to this hour from the Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry. And so your money will be doubled.
No doubt. And double money is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, no. Steve, Hippie was just here, and I know you know Hippie pretty well.
Pretty well.
You're his
yes,
dentist.
I might say.
He shared it with the viewers.
He actually has good teeth, folks. He has his teeth. That's the amazing thing, if you know Hippie.
I know, but you have been here in the Upper Cumberland as a dentist for a long time. You see a lot of people in this area.
We have, and WCTE is really good about helping broadcast to some of the areas that really don't have great service. We got good things like Jamming at Hippie Jacks, that counts. I like Ken Burns stuff. This is pretty awesome. And then, of course, we got the Muppets. So what else is new? Of course, that's Sesame Street. That's the word.
Kind of like Big Bird who's standing behind you.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. And you're a dad. You've had children, and they probably grew up watching a lot of the PBS
They watched WCTE.
Kids.
Yes, they did. And
your daughter is volunteered.
Oh yeah.
And says,
oh yeah. We've done all this madness. One daughter volunteered here. One is in Nashville doing Insanity. But that's another story in Nashville. But WCTE, like I said, it's done well here. Jack's stuff has been a lot of fun to work with. That's I got the privilege of being part of that, and that was fun.
Yep,
I must
that
say,
was
if you
fun.
get a chance to be part of that, be part of the sanctuaries or whatever. But in the meantime,
That's
WCTE needs money for endowment, right?
That's right. We're raising money for the Education Endowment Fund.
Well, that makes tons of sense. If you have an endowment,
Yep,
the yearly budget becomes much easier to negotiate.
that's right. It makes it a lot easier to pay those bills. We don't know anything
You're
about
worried
that, do
details.
we?
You're worried about a detail now, okay?
No, I know, but really, we're just here wanting to tell people 45 years of service to the Upper Cumberland. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
It's
And
a
that's
long time.
impressive that it's kept going that long and that continuously. That's continuous service
That's right. That's right. We used to only broadcast till 10 o'clock at night. Now
Well,
it's
the other stations roll on
24/7.
to midnight, so big woo there. When I was a kid. I mean, 10 o'clock was pushing the envelope, so
Yeah,
we're
that's
fine with
right.
that.
That's right. A lot has changed in the broadcast world since we first started. The way people watch, the way they consume their media, a lot has changed. We still broadcast over the air, but a lot of people will like to do the on-demand maybe or digital viewing.
Well, that's the whole thing. You've offered both, or
Mhm.
all three, I should say.
Mhm. Mhm.
And by doing all of them, you're covering all your bases. I just know in our area, there's so many people that are watching WCTE and are using this, especially for the kids.
That's right.
We talk to a lot of our patients, and they, a kid, you can always relate to them with a Muppet. Huh, Cookie Monster. How are you today?
That's right.
And
Elmo, Cookie Monster.
I'm Cookie Monster. They're all over.
That's your favorite?
That's it.
Oh, I love, but your teeth. What about your teeth? Vegetables, right? Lots of vegetables.
Well, there's this thing called a toothbrush, which should be called a teeth brush because we want you to brush all of them. That's another
right.
story
That's
there.
right.
But
Well,
yes,
that's for another time.
no doubt.
But right now, we just want to again thank Upper Cumberland Family Dentistry for your support of sponsoring this hour of the anniversary, the 45th anniversary of WCTE. I just want to remind people that you are matching these gifts that come in during this hour. So thank you for that.
We are.
We are going to be taking a quick break to go to PBS NewsHour, but we are going to be back at 7 o'clock. So I hope you will stay tuned and join us at 7, and we'll be on till 10.
And give generously.
Yep. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Avery.
Okay, you're welcome.
Mhm.
Take care.
Bye.
Oh, no,
Still here.